Good day, good people. It's AT Malone, the first of my name because the second is already here. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos from your boy. Now, me and my son have just got back to the house not too long ago because we were at the gym, and I actually left my son at the gym for about an hour because he has to learn how to be more independent, more self-reliant, more motivated by his own goals and his own ambitions, and he has to be disciplined enough to execute all of the things that we train together on. He's getting older. He's going to be 13 years old in September. So it's about that time. And a lot of parents have already been dropping their kids off at the rec center, at the gym, so they can also socialize with other kids. So I'm allowing my son to spread his wings and fly and give him a little bit more freedom because I'm a very, very hands-on, overbearing father. I will be honest when it comes to that because that is my seed, that is my legacy, that is my favorite person on this earth. So I'm very, what would you call it? Just one of those parents that love their kids to death and will do any and everything for them. So I'm just one of those type of parents, but I understand, man. Kids grow up, they need to become more independent. I mean, hell, he already has a cell phone, right? So yes, but the main reason why I dropped him off is because I had to go back to my jeweler. And I just got these earrings, by the way. And if you watched my video from yesterday, I had to replace them because I lost one when me and my son were at Myrtle Beach. So me and my lady went up there and we started looking at rings, and we figured out that we're going to get a custom ring for her made. So I had to go back up there. And I just want to say this, guys. No matter how many connects, plugs you have, everybody is always going to look out for themselves. They might mask their intentions on doing what's in the best interest of you, but they are looking in the best interest of them first. And that's part of business too. And you can't take that personal at all because it is a dog eat dog world, right? People got to feed their family. They got kids. They have bills that they have to pay themselves. But the thing about it is you got to watch out for the finesse. And I'm going to give you a prime example of that. Now, I was telling my jeweler, like, listen, I'm going to just pay cash for this ring. And they're like, look, you need to think about financing. And if you are any person that watches Every Dollar, that budgets, that understands how money works, the last thing that you ever want to do is finance because you're making the banks, or if they're doing in-house financing, you're just making that business richer. And I told them, look, I understand what y'all are doing. I know that y'all trying to make money, but it is not my business for y'all to make money off of me in that way. I don't like financing. And even though, listen, I get what you are trying to do, I'm not gonna let y'all finesse me, okay? Y'all are already making money off of me, and I am going to just come back, pay cash, pay off the rest of what I owe, and let that be that. And they were sitting there trying, man, for at least 5 or 10 minutes to convince me that financing was the way to go. And I was like, listen, y'all, I got a credit card where I get cash back, so why would I finance through you guys? Listen, I'm not in the business to make y'all richer in that fashion. It's just not going to happen. So I say that to say this, and I got a really good deal on the ring too, guys, for real. You have to make sure that you look out for the finesse, for people trying to hustle you, for people trying to get over on you, because it happens every single day, guys. You might think that people are looking out for you, but at the end of the day, you know that they have hidden agendas with whatever they're trying to sell to you, whatever they're trying to pitch to you, whatever they're saying that you're getting a really good deal, they're probably getting a better deal, which means they're making more money off of you on the back end. And just be aware of that, all right? Well, that was my freestyle thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but we gotta move on to Tuesday content, which is the richest man who ever lived, King Solomon's Secrets to Success, Wealth, and Happiness. And we are still on chapter 15, and this is part 3 titled Solomon's Foundation for Success. Now, last week I discussed acquiring wisdom, which is a fountain of life, the favor of those in authority, value and honor, riches, protection and safety, and a long life. Now, this week we are going to talk about the consequences of not gaining wisdom. Now, the first one is a life without purpose, fulfillment, and happiness. In Proverbs 21:16, Solomon says, "The man that wanders out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead." Solomon is talking about those who are physically alive but spiritually dead, those whose lives are not built upon values, because their hopes, dreams, and values are based upon temporal, they are ultimately bruised and battered by the winds of change and the storms of life. They may be happy or fulfilled for a season, but when their circumstances change, their happiness and fulfillment shifts away. Now, this is so important, especially for men, that we have purpose in our lives, whether it's our family, that's our purpose, whether it's our work, that's our purpose. Without having that purpose, guys, we just wander around. We don't have anything to live for, and guys like that are so quick to crash out. Have you guys ever been around somebody that has nothing to lose? That is a dangerous state of mind, a place in your life to be in. When you have nothing to lose, where you say, I don't give a damn if I go to jail or not. I don't care if I lose this job or if I get fired. Have you been around those type of people, men or women? You should stay far away from them because they don't care about life, guys. They don't have no purpose in life, and they don't care if they burn the ship with you on that ship. So I say that to say this. You have to have purpose, because if you do not have purpose, guys, you are just living to die. And that is not a way to live. There is so much to life to see, to have, to experience, rather than just living for the day with no purpose. Or some people will say, listen, I'm just working at this dead end job. Well, it's not technically a dead end job, because that job allows you to put food in your fridge, to pay your rent or your mortgage, to make sure that you feed your family, that you're responsible for. So just make sure, guys, that you stay on track, you stay purpose driven, so you do not veer in the direction of those people who have nothing to lose. And if you get into it with those type of people, you can tell that they have nothing to lose. You just let them have it, guys. Let them have it. Walk away. Do not allow them to suck you in and not only jeopardize your life or your freedom, because they don't have what you have. You have more to lose than they do, so don't stoop to their level, all right? Now, decisions that look good but ends badly. So many times in life, we think we're making the right choice only to discover that it was the wrong choice. In Proverbs 14:12, Solomon warns, there is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death. That's powerful. Without wisdom, there is no way we can have an assurance that the decisions we make will be right, not only for the moment, but more important, for life. Now, this is why men, yes, men, I'm talking to men here, we cannot make a whole bunch of mistakes. We just cannot, because one bad decision could cost us everything, could cost us our lives, could jeopardize the livelihood of us being able to provide, because that is our main agency, guys. Provide, protect, provision. So if you are just making constant bad decisions over and over and over and over again, there is something wrong there, and you have not even realized that you're making these bad decisions, or even had the mindset of thinking about, you know what, maybe I need to actually seek counsel because I consistently continue to run into these brick walls. And that is just dumb, okay? Now, another thing is this, right? We might think that this one quick hustle is just going to set us up for life. And that's not always the case either. Sometimes you might, I don't know, create a company, you might have created some sort of invention, or you just have this idea that just takes you to the moon. But in most cases, that does not happen. So it's very important that you're intentional with your decision making. You got to think about what one bad decision, who that affects other than yourself. And when you do that, it makes you stop and analyze everything that you say, everything that you do. And maybe it'll make you take a step back so you don't make just a irrational decision at the spur of the moment. So you got to think about that, because I do that all the time. I sit back and think about what decision I need to make. I don't rush it, because I'm always thinking about, if I make this bad decision, how does this affect my household? All right. Now, self-deception. Solomon said, every man's way is right in his own sight. The consequences of self-deception can be ruinous. Self-deception stalks everyone who fails to build a life with a foundation of wisdom. We've all experienced self-deception in some way, shape, or form in our lives. To avoid self-deception, we need a moral compass. According to Solomon, the only compass that can enable us to clearly see and choose the best paths in life is wisdom. Without that compass, we will make choices that seem fine at the moment, but will ultimately lead to disappointment or worse. Now, one of the biggest self-deceptions, guys, is not accepting people for who they are, and we hope that they will change. But I'm telling you this now, people don't change. Accept people for who they are. What they show you is who they actually are. No matter how much they try to sit here and mask and manipulate and finesse you, you have to believe them, because people show their true colors, especially for men. It's very hard for us to try to hide this thing. No, when you see them for who they are, you gotta believe them for what they are, okay? And even if they might seem like they've turned a new leaf and all of this, all they are just the evolved version of themselves. Me personally, I had a conversation with my son on the way to the gym today, right? And I said, you know what? Despite all of these life changes, has Daddy changed at all? And you know what he said? He said, no. And that's how you need to operate, guys. Be who you are, be comfortable in your skin, and accept who you are. Now, you can always better yourself, right? Because there's only evolution from there, okay? Now, the core person, the nucleus of who you are, the foundation of who you are, that's never going to change. The only thing that you can do is build on top of that to be the best, better version of yourself. But if you're just a piece of shit, that's just who you're going to be. If you're a liar, that's just who you're going to be. You might have a season of change, right? Like growing out of certain things, but the core root of the person that you are, that's what it's going to be. So the only thing that you can be is just the best version of that. And people, when you see people, stop trying to change them. You can't change people who they are going to be, who are stuck in their ways. So you got to accept it or just move on from that person, all right? Now, foolish decisions. Solomon's greatest disdain was reserved for those he categorized as fools. Now, we all make foolish decisions at different times in life, but that does not make us fools. Solomon's definition of a fool is a person whose life is built upon unwise decisions. He states in Proverbs 10:21, the lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. But fools die for want of wisdom. Now, how many times have we been friends of fools? I mean, just complete idiots, people who you just cannot talk any sense into, people who think that they are the smartest person in the room when they are actually the dumbest person in the room. I know I have been around a ton of these people, and then when I sat back and I thought about it, I said, why am I wasting my time surrounding myself with these fools who constantly make bad decisions, regardless if I try to stop them from making terrible decisions. They're so foolish in their ways that they don't even listen to good, valuable information. I know we've all experienced that. We all have been there. Guys, you got to let them just be foolish, because it is not worth your time, your stress, your frustration, your anger, because we don't like the people that we care about make foolish, dumb decisions. And we do our best to try to curb their path of destruction, right? Self-destruction, mind you. But sometimes you just got to let fools be fools, okay? And it sucks seeing them continue to make these foolish decisions, but guess what? That's probably just their destiny. They're just meant to be fools, okay? Everybody can't be smart. Everybody can't be intelligent, right? Just like everybody can't be rich. Everybody can't be poor, right? There is a hierarchy in life, and you got smart people and you got dumbasses. You got rich people and you got poor people. You got pretty handsome people and you got ugly motherfuckers. That's just what it is, right? And you just got to let them live their life, follow their own journey. But if they're going to be foolish, especially if they are around people like you, and I'm talking about the intelligent people out there, you just got to let them live, man. Let them live, let them make their mistakes, and sooner or later, hopefully, they will figure it out on their own. Or if they go against or do the opposite of the advice that you give them, maybe you'll get that phone call with them saying, you know what, you was right about everything, right? And hopefully they will stop being foolish and listen to good, valuable information, right? So that's all I have for this week. I'm still running a little bit behind, and I gotta get ready for my work week, which starts tomorrow. Also, make sure that you watch that reflection walk. It was a really, really good one this week, man. It's going to give you some valuable insight and some information that can help you navigate through life, especially if you are a driven, goal-oriented, ambitious person. Do me a favor. Don't forget to like this video, sub to the channel, and I will catch y'all next week. Peace.
Feel like they trying to box me in, so I keep a small circle around me, so fuck